across, I want to just share with you a little bit more about why this is called the Daniel Challenge. Who in the world is Daniel? What's it got to do with us living here today in Sydney? Well, it's like this. It's a long, long time ago, as the stories often begin, there was a man named Daniel. And Daniel was a prince. He was of the nation of Israel. And he and his countrymen were overthrown by an enemy called Nebuchadnezzar. He was the king of Babylon. And we're talking back about 2,600 years ago. Nebuchadnezzar was basically the ruler of the world's largest and most powerful empire. He came to Jerusalem, he overthrew the city, he took back with him the choice people. Daniel was a prince, one of the noblemen, one of the best educated, the wealthiest, the elite of the people of Israel. And Nebuchadnezzar selected, handpicked these people he wanted to bring back to his court. He was going to put them through a re-education process. He was going to, if you like, what we call it ethnic cleansing, perhaps you might call it today. So change their identity, change their lifestyle, change their names, change their religion. They're basically going to be brainwashed when they enter into the king's court. So as this all processed, Daniel and his companions that were with him, they were basically ordered by the king. Remember, this is the king of basically the strongest empire of the world, that they would need to adopt certain lifestyle practices. Their names were changed. His name was changed from Daniel to Belteshazzar. His three friends became Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego. They were the Babylonian names they were given. And as you look at them, they all tend to be relating to their god, the god of the Babylonians. And one of the primary things that Nebuchadnezzar insisted upon was that these Israelite young men and women were going to have to change their lifestyle habits. One of them primarily being relating to diet, and that's what we want to speak about tonight, nutrition and diet. Nebuchadnezzar had it in his mind, according to his understanding, that a certain kind of diet and lifestyle practice would be the most optimal way of obtaining the best outcomes, and particularly in terms of education. And tonight's presentation are going to be talking about nutrition and education, and they connect very, very closely together. So the king insisted that they eat a certain diet and drink wine and eat these various foods. Daniel, of course, being a Jew, had what we call kosher. They had kosher laws. They were only able to eat certain foods and prepared in certain ways. And so Daniel determined, I think the scriptures would say that he purposed in his heart, he made this decision that he would not consume these foods that the king wanted them to eat. And that, I think, is the key point we want to share with you. We want you to make a determination to only follow the most beneficial lifestyle practices that you know of. And we want to share some of those principles with you over the next several weeks. So it turned out that Daniel and his friends put a request through a friend they'd made in the court to the king that they would actually be able to just eat a vegetable diet or a plant-based diet and drink water. It was agreed that they would have a 10-day test. After the 10 days, they would compare Daniel and his friends with the other young people who had accepted the king's diet, and they would compare them and just see how they fared. Well, after the 10 days, it turned out that Daniel and his close friends that had refused to eat the king's diet looked so much better than all those who had. And I guess you could say, for one thing, they adopted positive, healthy lifestyle practices, whereas others chose negative, life-destroying lifestyle practices. So not only did Daniel and his friends look good, the other ones looked bad because they went downhill. And so as we think about the presentations tonight and over the next few weeks, we want to just bring a little bit of a glimpse into the man named Daniel. The fact that he was a principled young man, and he only would do what was best and right for himself, and also in relation to serving and honouring his God. So Ross.